You know, it's real exciting to get this moving. It's been a long time coming, and it's time West Virginia stepped up and held people accountable. Lauren's Wish is an addiction triage center that we opened in honor of my daughter Lauren, as well as Matt Colodges and Derek Kreitzer, friends of mine. Lauren was a social worker, getting her master's degree in social work as well whenever she relapsed and was sold fentanyl and poisoned and took her life. But 3 weeks before she passed, we were out in the yard walking around, and she said, "Dad, can I talk to you about something?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "So many people struggle from addiction that want and need help but don't have the family or resources to get it. When you retire one day, can we do something about it?" And I told her we would. Unfortunately, 3 weeks later, she relapsed and was sold a fatal dose of fentanyl. Wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with my life at that point, but I quickly realized that I made a commitment to Lauren, and I was going to follow through with it. So I'm very blessed to have some outstanding friends that one phone call to Director Eddie Boyle, Director John Todd, Director Kevin Blankenship, and Director Mike Castle and Director Becky Kreitzer, all on Lauren's Wish board. One phone call and they were on board. We're going to do something about this worst epidemic that's ever hit the United States, West Virginia in particular. And we studied trying to find a gap in the recovery process. We identified where that gap was, and that was between the emergency room and recovery. Hospitals usually aren't equipped to handle individuals coming in from an overdose, and beds usually aren't readily available. So you let those individuals go right back out into the environment to put them there to begin with. When they do that, this is a brain disease, so you can't threaten them, or there's no cause or effect or consequences. Their brain tells them they have to use. Lauren's Wish is a safe haven, a warm handoff to where they're willing to accept additional help, and they're medically cleared. They're transported up to Lauren's Wish in a safe, non-judgmental environment. We're staffed with peer recovery coaches and counselors. We begin their recovery process there. Once we find a 28-day program, we transport them there. So again, we keep them out of that environment, keep them in a safe environment, get them into recovery, and then once they're completed the 28-day program, they come back to us, and we then find a longer-term care. But while they're with us, again, they're receiving individual as well as group counseling, all kinds of support. The other thing is their parents get an opportunity to take a step back and relax, because it's really tough on the family when you live with somebody that's suffering from addiction. So knowing that their loved one's in a safe, non-judgmental environment, the parents can kind of decompress and know that we're going to do everything we can to get them well again. We do all of this, as I said, and Lauren's asking me, at no charge. Lauren said that money should not be a reason why somebody gets help. If they want help, they should have it. So all of our services are free. To do that, we are very fortunate that the community has backed us. Grants and private donations is how we survive. So we're going to continue doing what we're doing. We've been open just over 2 years in October. Last week, we eclipsed over 900 clients that have gone through Lauren's Wish. Of those 900 clients, we have successfully moved 89% to further recovery. They're doing an outstanding job up there, making a difference and saving lives. It's the stigma. People don't want to talk about it or admit it. It's in roughly every 2.9 families, so if you look left, look right, somebody's got it. We have to break down that barrier. We have to be able to talk about it, help each other. The other thing is, many years ago, when we were raising our kids and a parent called you and said, "Hey, your kid's doing this or doing that," you said, "Hey, mind your own business. I'll raise mine, you raise yours." Today, you can't do that. If you think or hear that a child's doing drugs or anything like that, you have to share that with that family and give them an opportunity to investigate, because with fentanyl on the streets today, there's no risk for being wrong. And the last thing you want to do is find out that, "Hey, I heard your kid was doing that," and it's too late now. So if you get that phone call, instead of being mad, you need to thank that person for loving you enough to share that with you and giving you the opportunity to investigate, and hopefully you prove them wrong. But again, it's that opportunity. It's a direct attack on the United States, this fentanyl epidemic. The Mexican and Chinese cartels are targeting us on purpose. So they're flooding the market and they're taking out lives. When they lose them, it's just a price of doing business. It's not really a matter of caring about our citizens, because it's highly addictive, okay? It's not dependent upon agriculture. You make it in a lab. It's very inexpensive to do. And again, because it's so addictive, And that's why they're putting it in there. And again, it's not scientists that's making this stuff. Okay, there's hot spots. It's no uniformity, no quality control. But the idea is that it's so addictive that one or two times your brain says, hey, that euphoria that you got me to yesterday, that's where I need to go again, and that's the guy that sold it to me. So they're going back there again, and again, after a couple uses, that's all you want. And again, when they lose 2 or 3 out of 10, it's a price of doing business. I have 7 customers until I sell them a hot one. There's no turning back from it. So it is a weapon of mass destruction. I've said that since we lost Lauren. And I'm glad that it's finally getting some traction and people are acknowledging that it is. And I hope that it's classified as such. Lauren's Wish is about saving lives. Our whole goal with Lauren's Wish was to keep another family from going through the experience and losing a loved one like my wife and I. This law is also another opportunity to get those individuals off the street and sending a message out that you're not going to do this in West Virginia, okay? It's not a slap on the hand here. It's major consequences, so out of our state and then keep everybody safe. You know, that's what got me moving, up off the couch right after she passed. Lauren's a little spitfire, so, you know, my whole thing is when I go to see her again, I'd rather her say, good job, Dad, versus what did you do with your life? So this was her goal, this was her passion. This is what she would have wanted. We can't give up. We can't give up. We need to understand that, again, it's a brain disease, and 28-day programs are not going to cure it, okay? It's longer term. 6 months minimum is what it takes. We need to identify that and start reacting accordingly. West Virginia has led the nation over 14 years in the number of deaths per capita. And again, it's not overdoses for the most part, it's poisonings. My daughter didn't say, I have 20 bucks, do you have something that can kill me? She thought she was buying something else, okay? So a lot of these people have no idea. That's not an overdose, that's a poisoning. I think we have to keep driving, understand that it's a disease, and get into the proper care. And again, it's not a 28-day program. We invest money left and right. The other thing I'd like to see is insurance companies. Insurance companies aren't readily willing to cover a 6-month program, but they'll send you to a 30-day or 28-day program 4 or 5 times in a year. Let's do it right up front, okay? You're not going to cure the brain in 28 days, but longer term, so let's address it. Do a pilot program with an insurance company, and you'll see what happens. This is tough. I mean, I just wish you were here. You know, she was graduated WVU in social work and was getting her master's degree in social work, WVU cheerleader. I had it, had it all. This does not discriminate, and we need to understand that. Never say never my child. We need to understand that it goes hand in hand with mental health. We have to understand try to understand why our kids are even reaching out. Is it the mental stresses? How are they handling stresses in their lives? But cell phones, when they came out, really hurt us. It took away the ability to communicate. Back in my day, if you broke up with a girl, your buddy patted you on the back and said, man, it'll be all right. Now, if you break up with a girl, you get an emoji. Okay, there's no ability to express concern, feelings, things of that nature. So when you have somebody that's struggling mentally, they're not getting the support from their friends that they think. Again, you can't do it through a phone. So I think we need to understand that it does go hand in hand with mental. And I think we're never going to stop kids from experimenting, but they should learn from their mistakes, not die from them. And that's what's happening. So it could be a one-time deal where they try something. It could be a weak moment. It could be a bad decision. But again, with fentanyl out on the street, it's Russian roulette.